It's a great honor for us that you, Anatoly, will participate in our colloquium and tell us about the role of memory in modern Ukraine, about the Jewish and not Jewish memory of Shoah in Ukraine, and about Jewish perspective on the Russian aggression. We are very glad that you find time for us. This is our chance better to understand the role of memory and history in Ukraine now. You are not only an expert of Babin Yar on Holocaust and commemoration in Ukraine, you are also for many years an important player in their searching for the appropriate forms for memories and commemoration in Ukraine. Anatoly Podolskyi is historian, educator, and public intellectual in Ukraine. Since his studies, Anatoly engaged academically in the history for the persecution and extermination of Ukrainian Jews, especially in the history of Babin Yar, a ravine in Kyiv, where the largest shooting action of the German Wehrmacht in World War II took place. Today, Anatoly is heard from International Renowned Center for Holocaust Studies in Kyiv. He is working also as a senior researcher associate at the Institute of Political and Ethno-National Research in National Academy of Agrarian Sciences of Ukraine. Anatoly published numerous articles and research in many languages. The topics of his publications include research on Shoah in Ukraine, archival work on Babin Yar, as well as the history of silence about the Holocaust in Soviet Union and about Soviet form of anti-Semitism. His publications also deal with the questions of pedagogical mediations of Holocaust and history in general, and ask about the appropriate form of remembrance and commemoration of the victims in Kyiv, Chernobyl, and other Ukraine cities. Several articles by Anatoly Podolskyi have also published in German. For example, in a contribution to Zeitgeschichte, he talks about Jewish life before and after the Second World War, about the life, persecution, and memory of Jews in Ukraine, taking the example of his own family. In 2019-2020, Anatoly Podolskyi was one of the important voices in the discussion about the future of the Babin Yar Memorial, and took the point that Russia used memory culture as a weapon. Therefore, Anatoly constantly spoke out against any involvement of the Russian state and Russian oligarchs in the memorialization of Babin Yar. This was still during the so-called hybrid war, when Russian war against Ukraine was already underway, but not officially declared. Since then took place a difficult to realize Russian war against civilians in Ukraine and against Ukraine as a sovereign state. Bombarding, but also the using of cold and hunger are the weapon against the civilian population in the present war. Anatoly is in Kyiv right now. We thank you very much for finding time for our colloquium. It is not at all natural to create a PowerPoint presentation, the breaking between electricity blackout and bombardments to tell Western Europeans about the current situation in Ukraine. It is, of course, not the right time to ask for the finished analysis about war and Russian fascism. It is need time and silence and freedom. But we are very glad that you are going to share with us your first observation and thoughts. Thank you very much for your time. Anatoly, the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear Olga. I think so nice, so strong presentation myself. From your presentation, now I know about me, you very nice information. Thank you. If seriously, it's for me big honor, and thanks so much for Zurich University Institute Popular Culture. Thank you so much for your invitation. For me, it's a big honor. And good evening to everybody. I will hope I will see your faces during discussions. And warm greetings from Kyiv. Now I'm in Kyiv. It's my home city. I am 55, and my wife, my son, my family, my old lady mother of my wife, more 80 years old. We not immigrated. We still from 24 February. It's my home city. It's an enemy, Russians enemy. They need go out from Ukraine, but I'm in my home, in my country, in my city. I not immigrated, and I will not immigrate in future. Absolutely, it's my. I love my country. I love my city. I love my people. And I'm here, and unfortunately, what Olga told, it's unfortunately Russian aggression against Ukraine continue. Already, already almost 10 months. But Russian war against Ukraine start 8 years, almost 9 years ago, 2014. They annexed part of Ukraine, eastern part, and Crimea Peninsula. But from 24 February this year, they bombed all Ukrainian civilian cities. They attacked Kyiv, Mykolaiv, Chernihiv, Kherson, Sumy. They attacked central, south, and east Ukraine. It's a really terrible aggression. It's a challenge for my professional activities. Challenge for Holocaust studies, teaching Holocaust memory in Ukraine. It's my topic last 30 years. And of course, I have personal story from my family, what Olga told, but I'm Ukrainian historian. And during Soviet time, I very good to remember, was forbidden everything during Soviet time. No, forbidden about true World War II history, forbidden about research about war prisoners, Zwangsarbeiter, about Jewish, Roma people. Only after collapse Soviet Union, start open this topic. And it's important emphasize before I start my presentation. During Soviet time, I finished university. I was in Red Army. I married. In my family, I'm last child. For example, my old brother, now he 72. Yeah, 72. 17 years distance between me and my old brother. And I grew up in Jewish Ukrainian family tradition, and it was a contradiction between what I heard in apartment in my home. I heard about story Babin Yaro, Jewish history. I heard about great famine, Stalin crimes, but in outside during Soviet time, in secondary school, in university, total silence, totally lie. And only after 1991, 31 years ago, during independent Ukraine, Jewish community, non-Jewish community received chance, received opportunity, really study true past, And come back to our past and discussion, true discussion. You know, it's for me, it's a brilliant. For me, as a Ukrainian historian, as a Jewish original, as a Ukrainian citizen, for me, it's a really value, no, really brilliant. And for this, me and my colleagues and my friends now fight against Putin, against Russia. You know, Russia won't come back us to Soviet Union. I don't want to come back to Soviet Union. I'm very good to remember this time, and I don't want to come back. It's a time, total lie, total violence, total crimes against humanity. I don't come back to this time. And this is main goal, what me and my colleagues, we are fighting, we are continuing our activities. It's important. And I hope I will present some my points, some my thesis for discussion. And I will happy if you will have questions. And after my presentation, I very hope our open true discussion. If I correct understood, Olga? I have to. I try that. I try open. I worry, but I try open. I hope Misha help me. I try open my short. It's a just short presentation. It's a just, you know, it's a just for illustration. My points. Okay, I try. I try. Oh, it's a good or not? Yeah, good. Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. I happy, but okay. Okay. Yeah. This is now good. It's the first slide. Yeah, it's correct, Olga. I mean, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's I will try discuss about Holocaust memory in modern Ukraine and challenge now. What happened now after? How can we speak about Holocaust history after 24 February? Oh, yeah, a few theses. Yeah, a few points I want tell you. During last 30 years in Ukraine, this topic open. You know, a publication, collection documents, testimonies, textbooks. You know, it's my history, my professional history. You know, I finished university in 91, 92, and this is topic open for research. And really, but very slowly, you know, Ukrainian society and Ukrainian research and educational communities create scientific school of Holocaust researchers, educators. But it's, you know, it's an achievement, in my private opinion, my, how to say, subjective opinion. Today, in modern independent Ukraine exists Holocaust studies, yeah? But it's an achievement, civic society. It's not government. Government sometimes support, sometimes not support this topic, you know. Now I'm speaking about last 30 years, you know. My friend and colleague, German historian Wilfried Ilge, if you know, I hope you know, Wilfried Ilge, he told me 10 years ago, it's a Holocaust topic, in general, Jewish history in Ukraine. Of course, big difference between Soviet time and today, yeah? It's a Soviet time, it's at all forbidden at all, yeah? Now, this is topic not forbidden, but not supported. It's a truth still today. But Ukraine, you know, slowly, but Ukraine go to freedom, to European values, to democratic values, but very slowly. It's a depend of people, government people, depend of corruption, but main enemy of our democratic way, it's modern Russia, absolutely. But a lot of people inside Ukraine after 2014 still cooperate with Russia. It was a huge mistake, you know. But anyway, Holocaust scholarly journals, Holocaust educational system, university courses, a lot historical Jewish museums in Kyiv, in Odessa, in Kharkiv, in Dnipro, you know, which is South Ukraine, Central Ukraine, West Ukraine. A lot development, safe memory about Ukrainian Jewish community during World War II, and published documents, a lot, yeah. But it's a results activities. One hand, it's even discussing about museums, memorial sites, is a result activities of Jewish community in Ukraine. One hand, and second hand, it's a result activities, non-government research educational institutions, non-government centers, institutions, and in cooperation with universities. You know, a government not forbidden, not supported, sometimes not, but this is topic development, you know, a PhD dissertation, a university courses. For example, I can give you a few examples. Ukrainian Kyiv Mohila Academy in Kyiv, Kharkiv University, National University in Kharkiv, Ukrainian Catholic University in Lviv, Kharkiv, Kyiv. Today, Holocaust history present in this university. We have PhD dissertation of young scholars. But what main important is, I afraid bit, but I think step by step created in Ukraine Holocaust history community people, scientific school of Holocaust studies, and especially young scholars. I want to emphasize, you know, today, for example, regional aspects of Holocaust in Ukraine, collaboration, Ukrainian Jewish relationship during Third Reich, during Nazi occupation, you know, difficult topics about Jewish Ukrainians relation during World War II. Now it's a young scholars research this topic. What is the age of these people? It's a people 30, 35 years old. It's a people, some of them born after 91, some of them born before end of 80s or 99. It's a people, it's not already Soviet people, you understand? It's not already Soviet people. It's brilliant. It's a people, they don't, main goal, main characteristic of these people, they don't afraid past. They don't afraid past. They can speak open about difficult past. Ukrainian, Jewish, Polish, Russians relation before World War II, during war. It's a, you know, it's an achievement. I think it's achievement. And what you see, okay, yeah, now it's okay. Now you see, okay, you see it's in this slide. You see some example. It's my example. No, Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies in Kyiv, Center for Urban History in Lviv, Kuma Institute in Dnipro. It's a big, nice project about Babin Yar, about memory in Ukraine, about Stolperstein project. No, it's just project of my institution and partners. It's a project, non-government project, but it's an educational commemoration and research project about Holocaust in Ukraine. It's a big achievement, you know. Yeah, and now yeah. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah. 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 It's exact. Olga. It's next slide. Yes, correct. It's next. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. It's next slide.
I hope to you and Misha. Without you, I'm finished. Yeah. And you know, it's just examples. One of project on in Ukraine. It's a German-Ukrainian project. 12 years ago, 2010. It's a project protecting memory. Today, it's a new title of this project, Network Memory or Memory Network. You know, it's a new memorial in Lviv, Rivne, Volyn, regions, in Zhytomyr, in Vinnytsia. You know, it's a memorial. Today, I can tell you, today we have approximately 2,000 Holocaust memorial sites in all Ukraine, from Lviv to Lugansk, from Chernigiv to Simferopol, you understand? From west to east, from north to south, approximately 2,000 mass murders, 2,000 Nazi crimes against Jews in Ukraine, 2,000 Holocaust memorial sites. Approximately 1,200 already have memorials or monuments or plaques or symbols or some or places who save memory, you know. It's it only after 91, only during independent Ukraine. It's important. And one of strong project, protecting memory or network memory project, it's an initiative of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Germany. And our partner, it's a Stiftung Denkmal. It's a, how do you say in English? It's a memorial mass murder Jews in Europe, in Berlin. And Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies, what I present, my lovely institution. It's not an institution, it's my life. It's not only my job, it's my life. If I can speak true. Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies and Berlin Stiftung, it's a result. You know, five regions of Ukraine, 25 new European memorials, but it's a result, activities, civic society in Ukraine, together with Jewish community in Ukraine, together with international partners, German partners, Polish partners, French partners, Israel partners, US friends. It's a result, you know. It was a result, yeah. Olga, it's next slide. Yes, correct? Yeah. I'm afraid every time, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah.
But you know, it's depend. You know, I'm afraid in Kyiv, electricity in my house, in my apartment now switch off. I'm in office, and I'm afraid every minute will switch off and finish. But I hope good. What happened after 24 February? What we're speaking? Yeah. You see in this slide, Russians destroyed Holocaust memorial sites in Ukraine, memorial sites which created after Soviet Union, after Finnish Soviet Empire. No, what want Putin and his people? In truth, I think it's not only Putin and his people. It's a modern Russian society or huge people in Russia today. A lot numbers, a lot, unfortunately. They hate Ukraine. They hate our freedom. They hate our independence. It's true. And you know, beside anti-Ukrainian direction from modern Russia, they have anti-Semitic direction. They combine anti-Semitic and anti-Ukrainian hate against Ukraine, including Ukrainian Jewish community. You can imagine, it's a very important, in March in this year, was partly were partly destroyed memorial in Kharkiv, Drobytsky Yar, you know, and partly destroyed Babin Yar here in Kyiv. In Babin Yar, exterminated my grandmother and two my aunts. It's from father's side. And for me, from my childhood, you know, what again I want to emphasize, why I don't want to come back to Soviet. I remember my childhood, it was 1974, me and my father first visit to Babin Yar, and Soviet militia, police, forbidden a lot Jewish people in Kyiv during, for them, you can imagine, I remember a lot Jewish families, but now nothing. No. Jewish families visit to Babin Yar in Kyiv as a cemetery. They visit to them relatives to concrete people. Concrete people visit to concrete people who exterminate Germans in September 1941. And Soviet forbidden. It's a crime Soviet, it's a Soviet crimes against Jewish memory in Ukraine particularly. And you know, Putin won't come back this time. I don't want to come back to this time. You know, Putin is a combined Stalin crimes and Hitler crimes and criminal crimes and total lie. Every day, total lie. And if you know, was so challenge during Soviet Ukraine, forbidden it to create memorial sites. During Ukrainian independent time, Ukraine created in Kyiv, in Lviv, in Kharkiv, slowly but created memorials. And after 24 February, Russian government, Russian troops, Russia destroyed Holocaust Memorial sites in Ukraine. It's true. It's today. You know, now I'm speaking not about past. I'm speaking about current situation. 1st March was bombed in territory of Babin Yar. My house, 3 kilometers. My house, what I live, my apartment, yeah, this is my wife, my family. I live 3 kilometers from Babin Yar. And bomb destroyed TV tower. It's a territory of memorial, you know. They destroyed, and 5 people died. You know, Putin regime continue Hitler politic and Stalin politic. Hitler killed Jews in Kyiv. Stalin killed memory about Jews in Kyiv, in Ukraine. And Putin continue Stalin and Hitler politic against Jews, against Ukrainian, against humanity. Absolutely, he and his people is war criminals. For me, it's clear, absolutely, absolutely. And what happened beside, you know, beside destroyed memorials, some extremal cases who happened in Ukraine. People 92 years old, 93 years old, 94 years old, Holocaust survivors who survived World War II died during Russian aggression now. In Mariupol, in Kharkiv, in Kyiv, in Bila Tserkva, people died. Jewish people, very, very old people who survived Holocaust time, died under Russians' bomb in this year. You can imagine. I cannot imagine, but it's true. And besides this, in Mariupol, in Kharkiv, destroyed synagogues. And what challenge now, you know, my community, my colleagues and people around me, it's the teachers. Teachers and scholars, it's my people, you know. It's a now challenge for teachers. How teach Holocaust, you know, how teach during, and you know, we start my Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies, me and my colleagues, we cannot speak till middle March. Till middle March, we cannot speak. My young colleagues, these young children, took women and kids and sent them to outside Ukraine. Some people, my colleagues, Jewish and non-Jewish, went to military service, to army, to frontline. Some people saved them old parents, and we cannot work normally. But end of March, we announcement to our website, Ukrainian Center for Holocaust Studies continue our working. Our enemy, Russia, won't destroy our life, our job, our work. We will fight it, and our fight, it's our activities. Our fight, it's our job, you know. And what is a challenge now? Now, what challenge? No. So it's okay. Olga, I come back. Yes, I come back to this. Yeah, okay. What I tell few words about teaching. It's a part of memory, you know. It's a part of memory. For me, I am sure if we discuss about cultural memory, Gedenkkultur, it's at least 3 components. It's, of course, Holocaust Memorial sites. It's create memorials in place, in mass murder place. It's educational activities. It's a research activities. It's a publishing testimonies, memories, education, teach Holocaust, research Holocaust. It's a part of memory culture, of course. And what challenges what challenges for our activities? First of all, part of our teachers escaped. Part of our teachers in frontline. For example, our colleagues in Kharkiv region, in Mykolaiv, in Donetsk, in Lugansk, in Zaporizhia, in Kherson. If you know map of Ukraine, you can imagine South and East Ukraine. And they in frontline, part of, for example, our teachers in Kherson, they was under Russian occupation, you know, under Russian occupation 8 months. And they saved textbooks, history of Ukraine. They took from schools and they hide books in them apartments. They saved publications of our center in Ukrainian language about Holocaust history in Ukraine. Russians burned books in Kherson. What is the same Germans in Berlin, you know, same Nazis. And what challenge for us? Now, some of our teachers wrote us, they wrote us, your lessons about Holocaust, your publication, help us now survive Russian occupation. It's a, you know what challenge, huge challenge for our center? Some of our teachers under Russian occupation, under Russian bombs, some of our teachers survived, they prisoners, Russians, they were prisoners in Mariupol, in Kharkiv region, and they come back after prisoners, no? And now, during our lectures about life in ghetto, about life under Nazi occupation, Jewish life in Europe or in Ukraine, people in our room, teachers, they survived occupation, they refugees, part of them refugees, part of them survived a prison or occupation, part of them died relatives under Russian bomb. And today we cannot speak about Holocaust history and World War II history without comparison. To compare, sorry for my English, compare between faith Jewish people and faith Ukrainian people today. It's a challenge, you know, and it's our teachers need advice from our center. You know, our center published annual textbooks, methodical books. You know, they ask us how we can visit to classroom to teenagers, and we will speak about Kharkiv or Kyiv occupation, Nazi time during Hitler time, and they need show Kharkiv now. Kharkiv under Germans bomb in 1941, Odessa under Germans attack 1941, and Odessa and Kharkiv under Russian attack 2022. You know, we need think, and you know what result our thinking? We created textbook new and put in our website in Ukrainian language. It's a methodical book. It's a, you know, how they say in English, methodical book for pedagogy, for pedagogical approach. A title of this book, How to Teach Holocaust After 24th February in Ukraine. And every chapter of this book, for example, definition of genocide, terminological, it's a challenge. You know, now a lot of people in Ukraine use terminological from World War II, from Holocaust, and transfer this terminological to current war. It's not always correct, of course. We try explain. We have right to compare it, but we need responsibility comparison. No, we need very precise, very careful. Yes, and we discuss about this. And what important now, our project, testimonies project. We start collect testimonies. Our center, we start collect 3 months ago, collect testimonies from Ukrainian students, scholars, and teachers who survived Russian occupation, who survived frontline, who survived prison, some, and we compare testimonies of Holocaust survivors and testimonies of you. We collect testimonies from teachers, it's our target group. And we now collect already 10 testimonies from Mariupol, Kharkiv, Mykolaiv, from Kyiv, from Lviv. And teachers who teach Holocaust history before 25 February, and now they and their family survived Russian occupation. And now they have already private memories and testimonies about this war. And one of my colleagues, young teacher, 30 years old, he survived, he was under Russians in Mariupol region. He was 10 days in prison near Mariupol. Russians beat him, how do you say, унижали. Olga, help me.
Yeah, I forgot also erniedrigt. I translate in German.
Yeah, thank you, Olga. Olga knows a few languages and help me, please. I will pay you very expensive. I promise. Okay, if seriously, yeah, it was terrible. And he wrote to our center, this is young teacher from Mariupol. He wrote, during prison, Russian prison in Mariupol, I understood how to survive this situation. And thanks to diary Holocaust survivors, I remember how Jewish people live in ghetto, a everyday usual life under occupation. And he wrote us, help to him, his knowledge about Holocaust survivors' diaries. And he used them examples during his prison. You can imagine what happened. One of teachers from our colleagues, we invite teachers to Auschwitz Educational Center. We plan together this Polish Auschwitz Educational Center and Yad Vashem, our center. We plan in February, in March, visit this educational study trip, visit with teachers group to Auschwitz Educational Center. Of course, in Poland, yeah. But Russian invasion destroyed our plans. And some of teachers in Kharkiv region, in Donetsk region, wrote to our center, sorry, we cannot visit to Auschwitz. Auschwitz already here in our home. It's you can, this is challenge. We cannot now continue Holocaust research and Holocaust teaching without speaking about current Russian aggression. It's a huge, huge challenge. And okay, and what I have 10 minutes or approximately, yeah. I need 2-3 hours. Oh, sorry, 2-3 minutes. My English is bad. Yeah. Olga, it's already new slide, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I just few words about it's just I select some pictures. You can imagine a lot of pictures I have. It's a Ukrainian Jewish people, Jewish origin, Jewish ethnic origin, It's the left side, it's David Cherkassky from Dnipro. His age, 50 years old, and he and his son defend Ukraine now in front. It's a Jewish religious people from Dnipro. In center picture, you see Professor Maxim Gon. Professor Maxim Gon, Jewish ethnic origin, Jewish person. It's my friend, last 30 years or more. He's my generation. He's 56. Nobody asked him to go to military. No, he was volunteer. You can imagine, he's not so young, 56 years old. Military people don't want to invite him, but he went to army. He teach Jewish history a lot of years in Rivne University. He teach Jewish-Ukrainian relations in 20th century. He professor of history and politology. He 56 years old. He now in front line in Donetsk region. I have contact with him every day. He dream come back to university and continue teach. But he told, it's my duty, he told. It's my country. He told Jewish community it's a part of Ukrainian community, Ukrainian culture. And he defend. He told me, he gave interview in Forward, you know, it's a Jewish newspaper in New York. He told what main reason or his solution go in his age, go to army, go to military. His answer in Rivne, he live in Rivne, you know, it's West Ukraine. In first days after 24 February, he saw children and women, refugees from Kyiv, Kharkiv, from Mykolaiv. They cried. This very small child, very young women, as his daughter, 25, 30 years old. And he compared pictures of Warsaw ghetto and people, refugees from Russian aggression, from Kharkiv to Rivne. And after he went to front, to military service. It's a just example. It's an example, Ukrainians, Jewish at war, a lot of people. It's just, you can imagine, I select just few pictures. I have a lot. Unfortunately, this lady in right side months ago died. She is medical, she is Jewish, Nina. She died in Kharkiv region during Russian attack. She already died. Days ago, in Donetsk region, was killed, Russians killed Ukrainian soldier, Vladislav Shein, Jewish young man, 22 years old, from Dnipro. He died 2 days ago. You understand? Jewish today in Ukraine defend Ukraine as a mother. Yes, it's just illustration. No, just illustration. And the right side you see it's how do you say it's a man. It's an officer of Air Forces, Dmitro Fisher. He died months ago. Left side, it's a Jewish man from Mykolaiv. He continue fight. You know, it's a challenge now. Ukrainians, historians, Jewish and non-Jewish people continue fight for independent, for democratic Ukraine. Let me finish a few remarks and I will happy your questions. In conclusion, young generation have nothing nostalgia about Soviet Union, nothing. And now young generation, if I speak about young generation, I speak about people from 20 till 35. They now fighting in military service as a volunteers. They fighting for their motherland, Ukraine. Not Soviet Ukraine, not part of Russian Empire, just independent European country. Name of this country, Ukraine. And you know, Anatoly Kuznetsov, if you know, it's a very famous writer in Kyiv during Soviet time. He wrote a roman, he wrote Babin Yar, he wrote a very nice roman, document, Babin Yar. You know, he escaped from Soviet Union in 1969, 53 years ago, 50, in 1969. And he gave interview to BBC or CBS channel in London. You can find his interview in Google. He told, I escaped from Soviet Union. Soviet Union, this is concentration camp. KGB, this is Gestapo. He told 53 years old, Soviet Union, it's a gulag, it's a concentration camp. NKVD, KGB, it's the same Gestapo. About this wrote Vasily Grossman, if you know, a lot of years ago. Anatoly Kuznetsov just repeat Vasily Grossman, but more open, more, you know. And what happens is now, this is us, this is my people. You know, I am speaking my people. I am Jewish origin. I am Ukrainian citizen. I am Ukrainian historian. If I speak in my people, I speaking about Ukrainians as a multicultural nation. Jewish, Crimean Tatarian, Russians, Ukrainians, people who have Ukrainian citizenship. Today, we are fighting for our citizenship, you know? Nazi genocide was against ethnic, against Jewish as a ethnic, Jewish as a culture, now Russians hate Ukrainian freedom, hate Ukrainian independence, hate Ukrainian citizenship, My colleague, I finished already. I need 2 hours or 2 minutes. My friend, my colleague, Professor Larisa Yakubova in Kyiv, she told during her lecture, she told, I try repeat, she told, today, Ukrainians, politicians, Ukrainian citizens, different ethnic origin, Ukrainians, including Jews, Russians, Ukrainians, including, today, this is political Ukrainians as similar or same as ethnic Jews during Holocaust. It's a big discussion, of course. We need try to compare their responsibility very carefully. But you can imagine people today survive so tragic the moment. People who research and teach World War II and know documents, know memories, people who deeply know fake Jews during Third Reich, it's a people understand so a lot similar parallel, the Stalin regime, Hitler regime, and Russian regime today, And it's a last sentence. One of my colleagues told, today it's a war not only against Ukraine, it's a war against cultural identity, against our identity. Our Ukrainian identity today is a European democratic human rights, dignity, freedom, identity. What's our identity? And I am sure we will win. We have not another choice, absolutely. And knowledge about Holocaust and challenge now for scholars, teachers, students, is this challenge help us how survive this time, how win enemy. Our enemy today is Russia. Thank you so much for your attention. So sorry for my emotion. I see only face, Olga face. I hope maybe I will see few more. Thank you so much. Oh, Moritz, thank you. Thank you for your interest, for your attention. I will happy if you will have remarks, questions. Thank you.